Well, hey everybody. Welcome back. We just had an absolutely fantastic show called Behind the Scenes and Bellinis. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Gail. Hi, Shania. I'm probably not saying that right. Thank you for joining us. We just had an amazing show called Behind the Scenes and Bellinis. It was so fun. We got to hear from T. Mills. Um, we got to hear from Tracy Baker Simmons. And they really gave us some insight on what it's like behind the scenes of all these shows that we watch. And they kind of revealed the difficulties and also the amazing part about being in a position to really control the narrative. That was amazing. So I want to thank you, Tracy and T. Mills. Hi, Barry. We'll wait for a few more people to join. And then Jessica, if you are here, go ahead and send me your invite. So we have Gail, we have Empower, we have T. Mills, Joey, Miss Maya, My Design, V, Tootsie, Control Shift Balance, yes. Thanks, Jess, I see it. Hi, Amanda. Ah, what a beautiful, beautiful show. How amazing to see these powerful, dynamic Black women making waves and making change and controlling the narrative on what we see when we turn on our televisions. That was powerful. So with all that said, hi Harlem's Factor. Hey Kristen. It is time to now bring in Sangria. No thanks, V. No show is complete without Sister Sangria. We know this. Everybody refers to her. Hi, sis.
Hey, boo.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. I apologize for kind of running low on time. We have like a great amount of people that came back for us.
Yes.
Fabulous. Come on, Flatiron.
I had to switch it up once we got out of that heat wave a little bit.
Right in the side part. Like, I'm loving it. You look beautiful.
Stop.
Like, literally. I just can't stop. I can't. So,
Thank
what
you.
did you think of tonight's show?
Beautiful. First of all, I love both of them, and they're so inspiring in their own right. And just as people, like that's the beauty of it is like you see quote unquote successful people, and to me, success just means that you're doing what you love. That's one level of success. But like to see how beautiful they are in their spirit, and that they're bringing that to number one, even the audience, because it is going to be sent. With whatever work that they're working on, it's not just going to affect them; it's going to affect the audience. So that's dope. It's good to
So
see.
dope. And
Yeah.
yeah, I love that, you know, you can see the power and then also the vulnerability and the tough side of what they do too. Um,
Yeah.
I would love for you to share with us some insight on what spiritual lesson you take from the conversation and from the subject.
Number one, I think my biggest thing is I love, I always take it back to the shifts that I feel like we're moving into and that we're able to see a lot more visibly right now. And I think it just has to do with the word even reality. Like, what is reality? And I think that a lot of things in this society, including media, television, social media, initially was giving us who we were. And so it's so beautiful that number one, you see not necessarily a machine say this person is famous and we're going to build them up and we're going to put them in movies, but now we're taking ownership over our own reality. And the person next door could be, could be someone that has a voice and has something to say. And it's not just Brad Pitt, it's not just, good looking, short, tall. It's everything, and everybody is interesting in bringing something into the world. So I think that everything, in a dualistic world, like there's beauty in all things, just depending on how you use it. And so, just like everything else, I'm excited about it that we get to really own our own narrative and through social media as well and YouTube. I mean, it's just expanding what's possible, and also wealth, abundance, and just getting your voice out. Like I said, it's beautiful to me.
Beautiful. And not only is what you're saying beautiful, but people cannot get over your look tonight. We have Chris Gray said, just looking edible, honey.
Uh-uh.
Joey said, serve. He said, wow, just looks so 5D. Yes.
Thank
Curtis
you.
Sally said, the swoop. Barry said, come through, edible Chris. They say you look like an edible arrangement, honey. Like
Oh, wow.
a blueberry, bitch. Well,
who knew the leopard was it?
oh, shit, it never goes out. Thank you for that. One of the things that I really am getting is I feel like in life, a lot of people like to actually play the victim. Like a lot of people actually enjoy victimhood because if we're not in control of our lives, it relieves us from the responsibility of having to create that ministry and that life that we really want, which is a lot of responsibility and a lot of work, right?
Yes.
So a lot of people say, oh, he did this to me, or she did that to me, or, you know, it's unfair of this and that. And yeah, a lot of times situations are not fair.
Right.
But they say, I'll just give it up to God. And yes, there is a part of that that's good to just kind of release and stop trying to control and just let things go. However, that can also be used as a cover of giving up responsibility. Like, you play no role. Guess what, bitch? God gave you the power. He said, in my house, there are many, many mansions. You have the power. You have the free will. And I guarantee you that God, when you decide on the direction when you want to take, when you decide on your ministry, when you act, walk, talk, think, and behave in a certain way, whatever way that is, God and the entire universe will use all of its devices to conspire to bring that reality to your awareness. Yes. So what I want to say is something that you mentioned to me earlier is that we are not victims. God gave you the power, and you are the motherfucking director, the showrunner, the writer, the star, the producer, the casting director of your story. And guess what? Here's the beautiful thing. If you don't like your plot line, if you don't like your co-stars, write them the fuck out, because it's your story. That's the beautiful thing. Now, if you like your life, create more of it. Do it bigger. Just be this fountain that's just emitting more and more and more and more of who you are. You're going to receive and be, and God will be called, it will expand through you and as a conduit and a vessel to do more of what you already do and live the biggest, fastest, most amazing version of yourself. But if you don't like the story you've created, and how do you know the story you've created? Look at your life. Look at your life. Who are the characters in it? What kind of work do you do? How are you treating people? How are they treating you? Right? If you don't like the direction that it's going, guess what? You hold the pen. You hold the paper. Change the fucking story. There's power in that. There is power in that. So what I'm getting from our speakers tonight and the idea of story is that you are the one that's writing it and starring it. And if you were to die today, what would people say your story and your legacy was? And if you don't like it, guess what? It's okay. Every fucking second is the ability to pick up that pen and write anew. It doesn't matter what happened, what you did, what she did. It doesn't matter. That's the grace of God, is that this present moment is a fucking gift. So recreate it if you must. Doesn't matter. Your experience is your story.
Yes. And it's funny because if you look at the word, you know, like you said, direction, the word direct is in it, right? Like, you are the director. And you have to ask yourself, am I currently, what role, like you said, am I playing in my own life? Am I a background character? Am I directing it? Am I just producing it? Am I playing a starring role? Or am I cool right now, you know, staying in the back? Am I an extra in my own movie, meaning I'm not creating, right? any part of my life. I'm not actively participating. I'm not being a co-creator of my life. And don't forget this too, just like with reality TV, you have the controller. You're the one also watching the show. You're also your own audience member. So you can press pause when you need to. You can fast forward when you need to, which sometimes can cause anxiety, or you can rewind it, which can sometimes cause depression. So if you need to pause and you need to meditate and you need to breathe, that's what pausing looks like, right? Regrouping, maybe like we said, change the channel if you don't like the energy that's being shown on the screen. So we get to play every single aspect of, and that just reflects the oneness and the omnipresent that God is in and of itself, right? Because you are literally playing even the people that you see on the street. Like you wrote them into your movie. Why? That's responsibility.
Ooh. No, wait a minute. Take us back through. If you're holding the remote and watching your own life, right? Because you know that
Yeah.
she's like, sometimes you might think a certain thought and you'd be like, ooh, that was evil, bitch. That was not nice. Right?
Right?
So who was thinking the thought and then who was listening to the thought being said? It's like we have, right? So we are the participant, but we're also the background too, right? So
Yeah.
you talked about pausing is meditation. Talk about that, and then talk about the rewind causing possibly causing depression. And like, can you break down those moves that we can use with the remote control and explain them a little bit?
Yeah, like for me, I like to tap in, like to my main character, right? So how am I feeling? How's this making me feel? And I'm very connected to that. So if I feel like I need to even pause from life, then I might meditate. I might lay down. I might take a nap. It's like self-care time. It's time to remove myself from the storyline. It's time for me to kind of just be and to neutralize my energy, to not lend it to anybody else or even to the story itself. Like I'm going to pause. It's like sometimes you have a writer's block and they say, hey, come back to it later. And all of a sudden it will come to you. So that's the way I see it. And sometimes, and because we were in a dualistic society where we needed right to know wrong, it's kind of elementary, really. We should evolve past that point to have contrast to know. So a lot of times we're projecting into the future, and that does not have to necessarily cause anxiety, but for some people it does, right? Because you're not staying present, you're projecting into the what ifs, right?
So
Not in,
that's like if you're fast forwarding,
right.
you're
You're
going
fast forwarding,
past.
projecting into the future, not present. And then sometimes we dwell on the past. So you might keep rewinding, you might keep going backwards, you might keep recycling different instances and different people and different types of relationships back into your life. So that those are things that we can look at that are not keeping us present. And you can use those as a tool, like, okay, I'm going to rewind because I want to revisit this, but I'm going to remain the observer. I'm not going to attach any energy to it. So a lot of times I would say, like in relationships, you see certain people have, and we've all done it, the same relationship over and over again, and we just call it a different person's name, but it's the same thing. It's because you keep literally rewinding. You are not progressing, and you're also not staying present into the what is right now.
Oh my God. Joey says multidimensional beings. Yes, do not be afraid of the future, but also don't be mad or sad about the past. We are present beings. And that brings me to your analogy of the remote control. Sometimes what we do is rewind and we're stuck in the past, or we fast forward because we're still concerned about controlling or affecting the future. And then sometimes we're stuck on the DVR watching old programming, but we need
Yeah,
in the live mode and be here in the present and be live and not be watching shit from 2 days ago or from 3 days ago, but to be present and exit the DVR and be involved in the live story that we
right.
actually have a chance to control and affect, like what we're living, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. T. Wilson, this episode is too good. I'm tipsy. I'm getting I was just
She's
like
still getting it.
bouncing in my chair, like, bitch, why you bouncing in your chair? But it's true. Like, yeah, no, just like you really with that remote control, like that. I mean, there are just so many places that like we could go with that. That's so dope. Do you have any lasting thoughts before we sign off for the people?
I think that's really it. But also, when you are enjoying television, I think we can do it in a conscious manner. Sometimes not everything needs to be so deep, but just really tapping in. Like I like to see how my body feels. Am I tensing up? Like, is this stressing me out? Sometimes reality TV can do that because you get so engaged in their energy, and you can literally, I mean, it's energy, so it's transmitting all the time. So
Mm.
you can feel that, or some things uplift you. So always be aware. Like for me, I'm aware of maybe I feel like something lighthearted today. Maybe I shouldn't put on something so heavy. Let me put on something, you know what I mean? Especially before I sleep, I'm always aware of like what I'm bringing into my dream world unconsciously. And so I think just try to consciously participate in things sometimes, and proactively create the energy that you are trying to emit. So that's what I would say. Just be really aware as much as you can of what you're consuming, what you're absorbing, because it is going to affect you.
It is. And that, thank you. That's what Tiffany said. She said, I affect the people that I work with and the shows that I work on, but they affect me. And also, that's what Tracy said, is same thing. Like the I pick up the energy from what I work on. And so that is going to affect the type of job. And go pause my video. But it's so powerful to know that we are the ones in control. We are the ones holding the remote. So if
Yeah.
you take anything from today, let it be all these messages, but let it also be you're the one in the driver's seat. So take control.
Yeah.
And if you want to write a beautiful story, start right now. Start right now, you know? Thank you so much, Jess.
Of course.
As always, you bring us full circle. The show is not complete until you kind of bring us back to the and ground us in the lesson. So thank you, and I love you so much.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody. Thank you for joining.
Bye.
This was Behind the Scenes and Bellinis Champagne Ministry. We will see you next week. Mwah.